A great poet weaves words in a way that affects you and tells you their story. A great songwriter puts that story to music in a way that sinks into your soul. A great director brings that story to life with images that make you feel like you've been there. Taylor Swift is all three of these, which is why I think she's not just the artist of our generation, but she might be the artist of our lifetime.
That's a pretty bold statement. So let me back it up by backing up to 2005. In 2005, Terry Bulger recalled meeting Taylor Swift just a year earlier as a high school student. I'm sure he had no idea what awards and accolades were about to await her. But what he said was this.
Her first record comes out in a few months. She'll tour and start the career she says she's been working for her entire life.
Taylor Swift!
I think a lot of people that know me know that if I talk to you for more than 5 minutes, I'm probably going to write a song about you.
Thank you to everybody who came out to see us on the Fearless Tour this summer, and to the fans. You have given me so much to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving.
I only want to thank the fans.
Taylor Swift.
And this is for my dad. Thank you for all those times that you said I could do whatever I wanted in life.
Taylor Swift!
I'm so happy right now. This is thanks to all the fans who filled up those stadiums and arenas all over the world.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh. Thank you to the fans. Please never change. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Taylor Swift.
The fact that this is from the fans makes it so beautiful. Thank you so much to the fans.
Taylor Swift.
Thank all the fans for remembering the lyrics and for caring about lyrics.
Taylor Swift, everybody.
Thank you so much to the fans who voted for this. I am so happy about this.
Taylor Swift.
I want to thank the fans. Woman of the Year, Taylor Swift. Mostly my family, everyone who's helped me get here, and the fans.
Taylor Swift.
If you voted for this, that we are heartbroken the same way, and we fall in love the same way, and we're happy the same way. To the fans who went out and bought over 1 million copies of my last 3 albums. I love getting to know you. I love talking to you online.
Taylor Swift.
I want to thank the fans for the last 10 years. I just want to say to the fans, you have been so nice to me and fun, and you're so funny, and you're so cool and so loyal, and I am so, like, it's not lost on me. So to the fans, I'm so happy that you like this one. I'm so happy that this means that you liked this one. Those predictions and forecasts may not come true if there's an unforeseeable factor involved. And that unforeseeable factor in this case was my fans.
Taylor Swift.
But the people who hang in there for you are the ones that you will never forget. And the fans who have hung in there for 15 years of me doing this.
Taylor Swift!
All that matters to me is the memories that I have had with you guys, with you, the fans, over the years.
Folklore, Taylor Swift!
But mostly, we just want to thank the fans. You guys met us in this imaginary world that we created, and we can't tell you how honored we are forever.
Taylor Swift!
But I never expected or assumed that they would mean anything to you.
Taylor Swift!
I'd like to thank iHeart and Radio Everywhere and fans everywhere for proving that wrong.
2023 iHeartRadio Innovator Award goes to Taylor Swift.
The hundreds or thousands of dumb ideas that I've had are what led me to my good ideas. You have to give yourself permission to fail.
I'm embarrassed to admit that I barely paid attention to her until I saw her on a 60 Minutes interview about a decade ago. Taylor was asked about being a role model, and she said it would be real easy to tell people to raise their own kids. But then she said,
the truth of it is that every singer out there with songs on the radio is raising the next generation. So make your words count.
It was November of 2011. Taylor was 21. Swift fans know what this means. It's important to note that because she wrote the first draft of All Too Well in February of 2011. The rumor is that Taylor had just broken up with Jake Gyllenhaal at the beginning of the year. It was a breakup that devastated her. Taylor said she was doing a sound check during her Speak Now World Tour when she started spitting out lyrics over chords, and then her band joined in. The phrase, "And you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest," came out, and a song was born. Make your words count. You can't be interesting unless you're vulnerable. Taylor is incredibly interesting because she's incredibly vulnerable. She's so vulnerable that at times it kind of feels calculated, but it's my belief that Taylor just doesn't know how to edit her words, so she spills them out onto a page. And don't get me wrong, everything she does on stage is perfectly calculated. But it's my belief that what happens is that Taylor just spills her words out onto a page unedited, and then she carefully edits them until they become a beautiful song. All of this brings us to All Too Well. I was shocked to find out that Taylor wrote the first notes of All Too Well in front of her band, because to me, it's a song that feels like it was written at 3 a.m. in the morning. Don't believe me? Listen. You usually don't hit notes like that resonate through an empty house during the day. You can feel the quiet of someone who's gotten up in the middle of the night, and they keep on hearing those notes in their head, so they have to keep on repeating it until the song emerges, because they can't get that person out of their head, so they have to write a song or put together a YouTube video. It's stark. It's bare emotion. In my opinion, a great composer or musician hides the brilliance of their musical knowledge under the simplicity of their tune. For those of you who don't know the story behind the song, Taylor originally wrote it as a 10-minute ballad, but then she realized she would never get a 10-minute ballad on her record, so she invited a friend over and they trimmed it down to 5 minutes and 28 seconds. But the story doesn't stop there. You see, her rabid fans found out that she had a longer 10-minute version of the song, so of course they lobbied for her to include it when she re-recorded her album Red, and they wanted her to include the full 10-minute version on it. The reaction of her fans has cemented something that's been clear to me since I saw that 60 Minutes piece. Taylor isn't telling a story that her fans like. Taylor is telling a story that her fans have lived through. Witness this clip of a bunch of her fans watching the 10-minute version of All Too Well for the first time. The woman in the back, she isn't just feeling what Taylor's singing about. She's feeling what she went through. And Taylor is singing for her with the words that she would have written if she would have written that song. Taylor isn't the girl who hid the key to her diary. She's the woman who at every concert hands out keys to all of her fans so that they can read her diary firsthand. So if you're going to record a 10-minute version of your song for your fans are going to want a music video. Go figure, Taylor already had every image of the music video in her head. They were all the moments of her relationship, and she remembered them all too well. So she created a masterpiece. Let's get into this. Sadie Sink is Taylor, and she nails every part of being a 20-year-old woman dating a 29-year-old man. Dylan was 10 years older than Sadie when they filmed this. Wait a minute, he's still 10 years older. You get the point. She's in awe of him. She has an idealistic view of who he is, and she says it out loud.
Are you for real?
What do you mean?
And there you go. We've established the relationship dynamic, and we haven't even started the song yet. She walks into a home that's clearly not her own, and she's overwhelmed by everything, which is the perfect metaphor for the relationship. She's overwhelmed by everything that's going to happen. He takes her hand while driving, interlocking fingers. And Sadie, she tries not to notice, but this is clearly every sign of the relationship that she's been looking for. Sadie, tries to pretend like she's cool about it. There's a series of visuals of them walking through the forest, and they stop and they kiss. Full credit to Dylan for playing the part of Jake Gyllenhaal as the guy that every woman would want to be in love with. Taylor does a great job of setting the scene without going overboard. She lets her actors connect. And boy, do Dylan and Sadie make it look like they're in love in every minute of this film. They are doing a phenomenal job of acting. They're at the dinner table, and Dylan, is making everybody laugh, And then she reaches out for his hand, and he kind of like pushes it away, and then he pats it like, oh, that's cute. And she tries not to react, but she's hurt because he's the only person in this room that she really knows, and he's pushed her away. This all leads to the kitchen conversation, and that's the best moment in the film for me because it's an improvised argument between a couple. It's so real that it feels uncomfortable to watch. The best part about this is that Taylor gave the performers basic points that she wanted them to hit, and then she just let them play. I'm an improv coach. This is everything we teach performers about improvising in a serious scene. Just be natural. You don't have to do anything over the top. Just be who you would be in that particular scene. God, they kill this scene. Taylor knew ahead of time that there was going to be one scene where she would let the music drop out and she would just let the performers play. Go figure, when she watched this scene, she didn't want to mess with it, even by putting her own music underneath it. Utter and complete sadness. All credit to Sadie in this scene because I can't watch it without tearing up. The worst part about this to me is watching Sadie completely surrender to the moment. This is not only a master class in acting, but I'm sorry about whatever hurt you, Sadie. Sorry about that. Blowing out the candles at her birthday party, trying to be happy. Everything's cool, right? Everything's cool. Happy birthday to me. Taylor reads the book to her fans, and that's the entire point of this. Everything's coming full circle. She knows that her fans relate to her all too well. Don't get me wrong. Taylor understands her own issues to a certain degree, and she knows her own narcissism. Taylor has been very careful, though, of not being one of those stars that tries to take off her clothes in order to get into the headlines. And yet, when she gets on stage, she might as well be naked because she's sharing that much of herself with all of her fans. And it's because her fans allow her to be vulnerable. She wouldn't have released the longer version of it or made the film if she didn't feel that she could be vulnerable in front of her fans. When you share a piece of your heart and you hear someone in the audience singing along with you, which, by the way, I've had that experience and it's super cool. Or if you hear someone in the audience crying because of what you're singing, or you hear that single person go, "Ah," it's worth every bit of blood, sweat, and tears that you put into writing that song, or making the 10-minute version of that song, or putting a 12-minute film together because of that song, or making a YouTube video about a Taylor Swift film. Like, subscribe, make your words count.